I want to ask you, and we've talked a little bit about this before. I've gotten some pushback from some of your supporters about the issue of properties you own on the boulevard and some back taxes, and we've had a. I think we're not seeing eye to eye
You got
on this
pushback?
issue.
Why would you get pushback?
I got letters at the paper saying, why would you bring this up? This is
really?
Well,
Why
would you question?
Yeah,
here's a successful business person.
Right. I've invested millions of dollars here, millions. But let me say this. So if you don't understand, property taxes, on residential properties kind of fluctuate with the market. And it's supposed to be a, kind of an automatic reassessment. But for commercial properties, that's not the case.
It doesn't reassess the way my tax bill changes.
That's right. So
my house bill.
So if you paid $100 for a piece of property that today is worth $5, they're still taxing you at the higher rate, and that's not right. You have to file appeals for that.
Right.
And so what happens is, and so if you pay those taxes, then you got to chase them to try to get them back. And so we were in that process. But your question was when you called me several months ago, it was it was a legitimate question. I didn't anticipate it because typically, for instance, you can go up to 5 years typically before there's any real substantive issue other than you just pay
before
the
penalties
interest
get
or
really bad.
The penalties they take place.
Yeah.
So. But recently I made some substantial payments on taxes. Now I got to go back through this appeal process and try to get the appropriate tax.
Last time about this.
Well, it was in the process.
Okay.
It's just things.
Yeah.
We just don't snap our fingers and they happen.
So I bring it up because it's especially in any district, but where people are. Kind of paycheck to paycheck, and their house values go up or down.
Including me.
They have to pay their
Right.
taxes.
Right.
I don't know if the layperson, the layperson doesn't see it the way you see it. They say they're asking, well, why doesn't he have to pay his taxes?
Well, nobody asked it but you.
Nobody-
there was nobody else that had ever asked that question. So, but let me just say,
I don't think that's completely fair. It is being asked out in the community.
Yeah, I haven't heard it here, but anybody but from Garvin, and now you suggest it. But so the issue is that when you say the layperson, most people, in business, there are things that happen, and they happen in due course of time. And so, to simply state that, what you want to pay taxes on is what's the true value. And there's a process for that. So, and that's what's taking place.
So you're in the process. It takes several years.
It takes a period of time. It really depends on someone's schedule other than mine. You make the request and then it takes place. But for instance, I think last week or the week prior there was, substantial payments made. So,
But you must admit it is a little bit unique for somebody running for city council to be having these issues with the city that you're running to serve on the council.
Absolutely not.
No?
I don't think it's unique in the city, state, or the country. There have been multiple candidates that have had questions come up during, particularly when people try to make political points on something. Had it not been for the millions of dollars that I had invested here, in business, when you improve property or you do developments, then you increase the values of typically a lot of the properties around. So we've been responsible for millions and millions and millions of dollars of positive economic development in this community, and we've probably been one of the biggest hirers of people from this community, District 2, and throughout the city of any smaller or mid-sized business other than some big corporation. So the economic benefit that our company, in fact, there was recently an economic study done by a third-party, independent, non-affiliated firm that suggested we did over $250 million of positive growth to this community. I don't think if you put a number of people together to have that kind of benefit, that's the kind of thing we need to promote. We need to encourage people to take risk and not, try to pick one or two things in the course of business that, people don't completely understand, and I would just suggest that, I'm happy to have an economic development discussion with any of the other people that are very interested in that.
Are you still involved with the development firm? It was New Phase, right?
Well, of course I'm involved. Yeah, I own it.
Okay, all right. So, and will you continue to do that when you're on the council?
There are certain things I can and can't do, and so legal counsel is kind of walking me through that right now. I'm not a lifetime politician, nor have I ever run for public office before, so some of this stuff is still relatively new to me.
Okay.